Hello there, this is Ajit Navlaka, and in this video, we are talking about how to move your clients from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. The idea of fixed mindset and growth mindset was first discussed by this fantastic lady called Carol Dweck. Carol Dweck explored this idea in her book and shared with the world how she found through her research that people who tend to find themselves not progressing in life tend to have something that she called a fixed mindset, and people who were extraordinarily successful were people who had a growth mindset. The difference between fixed mindset and growth mindset is exactly as you may interpret these words to be. A person with fixed mindset is a person that tends to think world is a certain way and there are certain rules to it, and once you understand the rules, that's just how the game is played. The person who has a growth mindset has a slightly different approach to life. They're always wondering that there is something to discover, that something there is to learn, and that life is a growth journey, and that what they are today may not be something that they'll be tomorrow, and that they're learning and exploring and growing every day and every hour. The difference between a person that has a fixed mindset and growth mindset is primarily their approach to life. What I've found while coaching individuals on business and life is that very often, people that we interact with as coaches are generally growth mindset oriented. There are two subcontexts to that though. Firstly, is sometimes they are growth mindset oriented and hence they think they are in a growth mindset even if they are at that moment in that part of their life experiencing a fixed mindset where they cannot see the growth opportunity in something and they feel like they know the rules and they know exactly how the game is to be played. And that can happen when you are working with individuals who already have an interest in personal growth and personal transformation because they would know the concept of growth mindset and they would think they are in the growth mindset, but they truly are not. Secondly, it happens where they may have a growth mindset in one area of their life, but in another area of their life, they are operating from a fixed mindset. And because of that, even if they are growth mindset oriented in other areas of life, they tend to operate from a fixed mindset in some areas of their life. A classic example would be an entrepreneur that is always thinking about how they can grow their business and learning from many sources, but very rarely invests time in their health or learning how they can grow their health outcomes. And that would be an example of somebody operating generally in a growth mindset way, but not being able to translate that into a different area of their life. Our goal here today is to show you how to move a client from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, irrespective of the area of life that you're working with them on. One of the times we tend to operate mostly from fixed mindset is when we are encountering a challenge. The reason for that is when we are in a challenging situation, very often our minds are trying to protect us. They're trying to not have us be hurt through that challenge. And because of that, it tends to go back to the rules it has always understood. And that gets us to operate from what we know. And that gets us to operate from a fixed mindset or a fixed set of rules that we've already defined for ourselves and the way we see the world always operates. And that really creates an opportunity for you as a coach to show your client that they don't have to operate from a fixed mindset. They can move to a growth mindset. Here's a question that may help you move your client from a stage of fixed mindset in that challenging situation to a growth mindset. The question is this challenge here to hinder my progress, or it is here to show me opportunities to grow? The reason why this question is framed this way is when we are in a challenging situation, we may turn our mind towards thinking, this is happening to me because, life is hard, or this is here because somebody's trying to hinder my progress, or they are trying to limit what I can be and what I should be. When we are operating from a negative cycle where we think something or someone is there to hinder our progress, it's much harder for us to look at it as a growth and learning opportunity. Asking our clients on if that particular challenge is hindering their progress or is an opportunity of growth gives them the consideration to at least wonder if this particular challenge has come through in their life because it's an opportunity to grow. While I'm recording this video, it is tax season in the United States of America where I reside. Now, while this is tax season, it is a bane of a lot of people's existence including mine. Every year, I would get into this cycle of constantly blaming the amount of taxes I have to pay to the government and how it affects my finances and financial health of myself and my family. And because of that, I found myself operating from a fixed mindset this year. I found myself stuck in the same loop that I got into every single tax cycle, where I would blame the government, where I would think about how much we have to pay for taxes, how much percentage of that is taken away from us, and it doesn't really translate to real services out in the world, and so on and so forth. And this time around, I caught myself. I found myself in the place where I said, why is it that every single year I operate from the same belief that the government taxes us too much and that they don't deliver the services that they should be delivering, and so on and so forth? And I asked myself, well, maybe because I am operating from a really fixed mindset approach. Maybe there is something that the universe is trying to show me so I can learn from this opportunity. And so this year, I am taking a pledge of planning for my taxes much in advance than I have until now. Now, I'm generally a very organized person, but taxes seem to be an area where I constantly didn't really consider my otherwise organization in life. And hence, I was constantly getting into the same kind of challenges and same kind of fixed mindset that really isn't required at my stage of life. So I switched my gears and now I'm in a growth mindset mode where I'm asking myself a more proactive question. How is it that I can benefit the government and at the same point of time not feel the stress of the tax season? How is it that I can optimize my finances through the entire year so I don't have to get into this situation where I get into this anxious, unhealthy self of blaming the government and blaming the tax season? This is me turning my fixed mindset to my growth mindset. You may find yourself in similar fixed mindset and growth mindset, and that's why it's important to ask ourselves this wonderful question of saying, is this challenge here to hinder my growth, or it is an opportunity for me to grow, is to prosper, is to find something different that is a more growth-centered mindset? Which brings me to the second question you can ask your clients if they are experiencing a fixed mindset. This is more a spiritual question that not every client will appreciate, but a lot of clients will find that breakthrough they're looking for from moving from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. The question is today the day where life is happening to me or life is happening through me? It's an interesting question that switches us from being a victim to a creator. When we operate as a victim and we think life happens for us, we lose any kind of responsibility or control at the situation that we are dealing with. Whereas when we think that life is happening through us, we suddenly feel control and ownership towards what's happening in life. And we have a perspective that informs us that life is happening through us, and hence we have control to change it if we are not liking the outcome that is happening around us. And that can shift completely how we approach life today. Which is why you want to ask your clients, is life happening to you or is life happening through you? When a client accepts that life is happening through them, when a client accepts that they have control towards what's going to happen next, it gives them a lot of power and gives them a lot of personal responsibility where they start to take action towards creating the life they truly desire. They stop doubting that the universe is not conspiring towards creating everything that they want. They accept it, they appreciate it, and they work towards creating exactly the outcomes that they always wanted to. The third question that will shift your client's focus from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset is where you ask them, do you think you're growth oriented? If yes, where is your growth plan? You see, very often our clients are growth oriented, but they never really put down a growth plan. And because they never put down their growth plan, guess what happens? Their growth becomes reactive. They have no ownership. They have no proactivity to actually grow themselves. They don't have a growth plan for their life. They don't have a growth plan for their relationship. They don't have a growth plan for their health. They don't have a growth plan for their businesses. And because they don't have a growth plan, they grow as a consequence of circumstances around them. And when we grow as a consequence of circumstances around us, guess what happens? If the circumstance is not in the favor of growth, we don't grow. If the circumstance brings adversity so hard that we cannot focus on growth, we don't grow. If the circumstance of people around us are not growth mindset oriented, we don't grow. And none of those situations are a healthy set of situations for us to keep our clients in a growth mindset. which is why you want to ask your clients, are you growth mindset oriented? Do you want to grow? If the answer is yes, let's make a growth plan. Let's have a plan of how you're going to grow as an individual. What is the direction of travel? What is it that you need? What is the learning you will need? What is the coaching that you will need? What is the training that you will need? What are the seminars that you need to attend? What are the online seminars you need to attend? What are the things that need to be done for you to be able to grow in the direction that you want to grow? What is the growth plan? And if there is none, let's make one. And now that we're talking about plans, let me give you the fourth question that will be paramount in turning a situation where a client may be feeling like a failure and hence feeling the fixed mindset in their life and feeling like they're stuck and they don't have a path to progress, and turn them into a growth mindset. Ask your client, did your plan fail? Does that mean that it was your plan that failed, or did you start to feel yourself like a failure? You see, sometimes what happens is when we make a plan as human beings, we make a plan, we put it out in the world, and it doesn't work out. When it doesn't work out, sometimes we think we are responsible for its failure. Whereas a planned success is function of a lot of things, including ourselves as one of the factors, but then there are a lot more factors than just us. And that is why it's very important for us to understand and our clients to understand that when a plan fails, it's not a personal failure. It simply means something we tried and that it didn't work out. And because it didn't work out, it has no reflection on you as a person. That simply means that whatever we planned just didn't work out in the way we had planned it. That the expectation that we might have had for the plan didn't work out in the same way that the expectation of a plan should have worked out. So ask your clients, when a plan fails, what's the translation that it has in their mind? Do they think they failed, or do they just simply think, well, the plan didn't work out and let's move on and make another plan? Because if they take that failure to themselves and start believing that they failed, it will be much harder for them to keep a growth mindset and keep progressing forward. And then I want to lean into the last question, because sometimes life throws a really strong curveball where we really cannot get out of the mindset that we are in. We're just stuck in it and we keep hitting a wall. And even if we want with all our heart to get past that, we just can't. And that is where the final question comes in. And that is where the final strategy comes in to help our clients get past their fixed mindset into a growth mindset. And that is, can we take some small action, some tiny action that will get us just one step further? You see, we are individuals that have big expectations of ourselves, right? We want to get to that ultimate goal. We want to find that final outcome. We want to win that big battle. We want to be that big success. But that is so far out that day-to-day challenges and day-to-day failures don't really associate themselves to that final outcome. They just become a part of the journey. If we ask ourselves to just become 1% better than yesterday, just slightly better, just one step further than yesterday, we would find ourselves to do 2, 3, 4 times better than what we were doing in a scope of a year. Most of the time, when we are in it, we are in it. We can't see the outcome. We can't see the progress. We can't see the journey. And so it becomes really difficult for us to keep doing the work, keep the growth mindset. We keep feeling like, it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. And that is why if you can create that small minor action, just something that they can move you a little bit further in your life, in your client's life, you will find that in a matter of 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 100 days, you have made huge leaps in life. When we started EverCoach, the platform that you're watching this video on, we didn't start with a big success. For that matter, for the first 2 years, you may not have even heard of our name because we were trying to just barely make it through. When we started the platform, I was stepping down as a CEO of a really, really successful company called Mindvalley. And as I was stepping down, I needed something that I felt really, really passionate about, really, really excited about. And so I started EverCoach in partnership with Mindvalley. But when I started it, we didn't have feet. We had a little bit of investment that the founders put in, and that got us some traction, but nowhere near to where we could think that we would be at a place where we are today. We didn't know that. We didn't expect that. But what we did do was to take small daily actions every single day. I still remember telling one of my team members on just launching an advertising campaign every day. Her goal was not to make advertising successful. Her goal was to launch a campaign, to say, let's take one step forward. Let's not try to win the battle. Let's just try to make a step forward with courage, with intention, with intelligence, and keep making that step forward every single day. But because we kept taking those steps forward, because we kept taking that 1% better action than yesterday, 5 years later, we are where we are. And we are so grateful that we took those actions despite the failure, despite the annoyances of not finding the success that we wanted to, despite feeling like that we're not creating a platform that's big enough or powerful enough or impactful enough. We kept taking action. I want to take this opportunity to remind you that you can do this with your clients, that every single small step is going to account for the great outcome that you finally seek. But you are not going to get that outcome if you don't take those small actions. So I really invite you to ask yourself this question. If you're finding yourself in a loop, if you feel like, I'm struggling, I'm going through the same cycle again and again and again, I'm not getting the outcomes that I want, I really invite you to stop and only think about taking one step forward, because that one step forward will one day look like a leap. So those were some questions that should help you move your clients from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Heck, if you find yourself in a fixed mindset right now, these questions should have already helped you. You might already be seeing your wheels turning, going, I can see how I can use this strategy, this question right now in my life. If you found something that turned wheels for you, or you think that will turn wheels for your clients, share that with us below in the comment section. I love reading the amazing comments I get every single week. It is something that gets me to do 1% better every single time I post this video for you. It helps me take that one step further that I get to take because I see how much it's impacting your life. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you, for some reason, haven't hit that red subscribe button, I really encourage you to go do that, because it'll give you the notification that you need every single week when I post a new video right here on this platform for absolutely free for you to enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. This is Ajit Navlakha, and you're watching this on EverCoach.